Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to our Dustbane Training Center. Shannon and I are really excited about today's seminar, webinar, things that we're going to help you go out there and improve the quality of your floor. We're going to go from what was done 40 years ago, what was done 10 years ago, and what can be done today. So very excited about this, Shannon.
I'm really excited about this. And what I'm most excited about is the fact that you and I get the opportunity to wet strip a floor again.
Oh my God.
And it's going to be so much fun as an inexperienced operator to be able to use the polisher. Do you really want to train me?
Today, it's too short. Let's keep it simple. Let's go through this process. But we've got the room set up, and we've been doing this for many, many years at Dustbane. Our team is very versed on stripping floor, the equipment you need. And if you go into the conventional floor stripping, when you're looking at your equipment, you're looking at vacuum, polishers, floor back, strippers, floor finish sealers, dryers, wet mops, waxing mops, and all of the little tools, Shannon, that we don't have on the floor because we don't have enough room for all these accessories you need.
Well, Mark, I think it took you about 20 minutes to get this set up, but we're not quite done yet.
Oh my
I feel
God.
like there's a few things that are missing. Like we should be taping off the floor so we don't rut our carpet. I mean, it was installed in 1908,
That's right.
but we still like to make sure that we take care of that carpet. So I think we probably need some garbage bags. We probably need some tape. We probably need some gloves, and we probably need a third body.
Oh, at least, because I'll be the operator. You'll feed me, and the third person will rinse the water, get more water, measuring the chemical. It's so important to measure your chemical.
I thought we were using a Tim Hortons cup and we were just pouring it in. Isn't that how we were taught?
That's how people were doing it, and things have changed, and using the right amount of stripper, right amount of solution, measuring it properly, using room temperature water. You gotta go to the water, make sure you have room temperature water, not hot.
Right.
Solvent stripper, those are the type of product that really will evaporate and not stay on the floor and break the surface tension. Then it becomes very gummy and sticky, and you're rinsing back. This is very labor intensive.
The last time that we talked about doing that, a floor this size, being roughly about 600 square feet, so the same size as a small classroom, would take about 6 hours to do it traditionally.
Yeah.
If you were a trained operator. Now, if you're inexperienced, that's going to take even longer, because Lord knows that we could end up with a polisher going through the wall. It's been known to happen before.
Well, that's a health and safety issue also.
Yes.
And back in
Most
those
certainly.
days, you could break glasses, go through windows, go through walls. People weren't paying attention. Today, the workers are very important, and their health and safety moving forward, operating, the ease of operation, using the right chemical. But look at all of the accessories. So things evolved. Things evolved to the point where 10 years ago, we started looking at machines that would give you a dry stripping. Dry stripping, prep machines, different words were used, but we're going in more in a dry process using a machine that, we've gone from about 6 hours to what you were describing.
So 6 hours, 3 people, let's say $24 an hour.
Exactly.
Just to do those floors, that's a little over $600 before we even apply any product or consider the fact that we need clean, fresh mops.
Right.
We need a lot of new accessories. That cost to do that one 600 square foot classroom could be upwards of $700-800. Now, it's a little humid in here, so I probably don't want to be doing that at this time of day. So I'm assuming you're going to pay me some overtime so we can do this at night?
Absolutely, because you know what? It's got to dry, and floor finish, when you're applying it, you have to wait at least 45 minutes. You don't put your first coat of finish after you strip your floor and reapply 5 minutes later. It looks dry, looks good, but you have to wait proper curing time to finish, getting that polymer to dry completely so to get the result. We're always looking for gloss. Gloss in your industry means a clean floor. Now, it is time consuming. It's $700 to $800, for that process. Imagine if you had a whole school to do or an office building, how much dollar is associated to that process.
I can already tell you, I'm gonna go on the serve and I've taken a little bit of a vacay because this has been a long year.
Yeah, and you know what, for me, it's a great exercise. Every time I've stripped floor with our team, you know, you lose a couple of pounds. That's the only benefit to me that I saw in stripping floor the old fashioned.
Okay, so we can take about $50 a month off that cost for gym membership.
Okay.
Great, all right. So what have we got here? We've got, you know, we've got our stripping pads, we've got our polisher, we've got our stripper,
Yeah.
we've got our clean water, we've got our stripping bucket, we've got our floor finish, we've got a dryer.
Water. I need to get water. Where do I get water? I have to walk.
It's on the second floor.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a long process.
Yes, it is. We have no elevator, so sweating with the oldies. We're gonna get that done today.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, and I go back to evolution. Things have changed, labor reduction, health and safety. And that's when we started designing other ways of getting the floor, removing a few layers. We have always said that our fast track combination with the integrity will remove a few layers. It's a dry process, and then your floor is really even. All of the contaminations are removed. And it's done in a simpler way. Shannon, you've operated the integrity.
I do it all the time.
Absolutely. Great, you know, next generation to getting floor prep done, to getting shine, reducing the labor. We can recognize this. But there's still a bit of a wet application because after you've rinsed or applied the integrity process, there's going to be a fine little layers of fine dust that you need to remove. Put them up and, you know, your film away in a bucket, or you can use an auto scrub.
So you and I know about the integrity, but I'm not sure that our audience today does. So maybe we could just take a step back and do a little myth buster. The myth that I hear all the time is that by using the integrity, you're not actually stripping the floor. But you said we're removing layers, which is no different than what you're doing with wet stripping a floor. The difference being your wet stripping is probably going to get you down further into that floor and remove layers of finish, probably right down to your sealer. So why do you actually need to get down that far?
Well, you don't. It's been standard that's been set in the 60s.
That was before my time.
Yes, and you know what? They kept going and kept going and kept going. We had labor, we had the tools. People were buying, you know, floor care because they wanted that wet look. They wanted those 12 coats of finish. They wanted that mirror. But you know what? Today things have changed. People want to protect their floor. They want the floor to have a reflection. So when you come in your building or you come in your school, you feel that the floor is now clean and protected from, you know, we have COVID.
Yeah.
It's going away, but viruses and bacteria will be around for the rest of the time.
So I love to talk about what's on the bottom of your shoes. You just visited the washroom.
Oh my God.
So great.
Ooh.
And, you know, you walk through the facility, you're tracking everything with you, whether it's on the carpets, the floors. You want to make sure that before your kids go for a nap on those floors in that classroom, that that's pretty clean. Or before they decide that this is a good time at snack time to create a picnic, and now they're eating off of those floors.
Wow.
I don't know, but last time I checked, that would not be top priority for these kids. So when we start to look at the dry process, we talked about the integrity and some of the benefits of that. So maybe what we could do, Rachel, is we'll just take a little wander over to what the integrity looks like so that we can talk about that dry strip process. Now, what I personally love about this is the fact that it is so easy. When we were working with one of the schools here locally, we did a demo and it really took us about 22 minutes to get this floor dry prepped, allowing us really to ensure that the floor was sealed. And what was really great about that is they actually used less finish. So not only did they get the labor savings, but they also got product savings out of that. And their biggest challenge was that they'd already had damage on their floors before. The wrong product was used, too much water was applied to the floor. It started actually lifting the tiles off their floor. So getting that sealed and getting that done right was actually critical, not only to the process and making sure that they were reducing labor, but it was the impact on the facility. And what a great opportunity. So why else would you use the integrity?
It's going to be dry,
no humidity in the building, much safer for people walking in that building. You don't have to quarantine the areas for hours. You're gonna do a lot more square footage. Removing those 2 layers, making that floor ready to receive your floor finish. So we're removing some of the sealer requirement. And then the reflection leaves, and we'll show you this with a gloss meter after, and that will impact all of you visually and through a gloss meter system. The integrity, much easier to operate. It only takes 1 person.
Absolutely. So you've reduced your number of folks by 2.
Yeah.
So you're only using 1 person. You're reducing your hours from 3 hours times 3 people
Right.
down to about an hour and a half. You can daisy chain this and have your second person starting on applying finish while the first person is actually in that next classroom. So that's fantastic. But what I said to you earlier about it's humid and you're going to need to pay me overtime because we've got to do this at night. The other reason that we hear from customers why they like to do this at night is the VOCs that they get from their strippers. Now, our finish and our strippers contain no VOCs, but you're always going to have that odor that does come off of a product that has some solvent built into it. So utilizing the Integrity, we're eliminating that, allowing for this job to be done in daytime. So how fantastic is that?
Removing that humidity out of the air also now allows you to reapply finish. It will dry much faster because it's the first time the floor sees humidity. So it will react and dry. So you can reapply your second coat much faster, again, reducing your time of the task and again, reducing a lot of your labor involved. And there's still 1 person involved. If you put a team of 2, you could have 1 person doing classroom, the other one rinsing the classroom, and then start reapplying. So again, you're going to cover probably more square footage. You're going to reduce your labor by at least 50%.
Right. So another myth is, okay, well, if I move to the Integrity, then I can completely eliminate stripper. I can completely erase all those costs associated with my business. However, I think most people forget that the vacuum is actually a lump and that changing your paper bags in here replaces some of those costs of stripper, but it's a really important part of the process. Also making sure that you've got the right pad and that it doesn't get worn down. Some people think that, well, you know what? It says I can do 650 square feet per side. So, you know, I can try 8 classrooms with 1 pad and see if I can get that done. So making sure that you're using the right products along with the right process is going to make that job so much more effective and allow you to get those pores on the floor sealed and getting that foundation that you need in order to apply that finish and reduce those coats. So this is a great option for those folks that say, you know what, the traditional method just isn't going to meet our business needs any longer. I need to find some ways to reduce my SKUs. I need to find ways to reduce the impact on my labor, but I really need to ensure that the job is getting done. As we see people return to work, I think that's going to be the #1 concern that people have is how do I actually get all these new tasks done with less people to get it done in less time?
And that's what we're doing, right? We've gone from a truckload of items required to get the job done to the Integrity, an auto scrubber, a microfiber, or just a mounted bucket back to 1 person, and really making this accessible to everybody in every building, in every offices, in every school, and every showroom. It's easy, it gets it done, it's dry, it's about the performance curve. And you know what? People don't strip floor the way they used to. They go out there and they really work it. And, you know, it's hard. You have to rinse. There's a lot of labor that's a process. The Integrity will remove those couple of layers. Will take all of the contamination off the floor. The floor will have no reflection, and that finish will just slide into the finish, on your floor, and then dry to become a very nice reflection and give you that applause.
Perfect. So we've gone from a traditional method into a newer idea of dry stripping a floor and getting your floor completely prepped. There's other ways that you can use the Integrity. You could use different types of pads like salmon pads or potentially a diamond pad, depending on the type of floor surface that you have. Now, Mark, one of the things that we consistently hear from customers is, hey, I'm new to the business. I don't have a mentor in place to train me the way that you've trained me over the past several years. How do I actually get that done? Well, this is a great time for you to actually network with your Dustbane team that is happy to go in and help do some of these demos for you and train you. But you know what? It's the middle of the night and I've got a problem. What do? Use your iPhone and check out our floor care program. We've got a great guide that will help walk you through those steps of what you need to do if you are traditionally stripping your floors or if you're prepping your floors in the way that we would do that today, utilizing the integrity. But we have so many more exciting opportunities as we start to move into what we wanted to talk about today, which was the Labrador. So Mark, you touched on gloss readings. What does that mean?
Well, gloss reading, and it's been around the industry, and that's how people measure the reflection on the gloss. It is, a way to look at. But gloss reading, it really is picking up the light that's going into the film and bouncing back, and that's what your eyes are seeing, a reflection. If the floor is clean, if the finish is evened out, if there's no contamination, you get a nice reflection. Makes you feel like it's clean, makes you feel like it's safe, make you feel like it's been, maintained properly. I've got the gloss meter here, and we're in a training room facility in Ottawa. A perfect floor.
So amateurs may have done this floor the odd time, and there could be some uneven spots or some,
But
less than perfect floor finish down.
Today, with the right equipment, the right pad, there's the amateurs, don't require that perfection all the time because it's simple.
And it's self-leveling, which I think is really critical. The fish eyes and the bubbling that you used to see in floor finishes at times gone by, that's really not part of the process today.
Exactly.
That only happens if you used a dirty floor and a dirty mop.
Right. And you're going to see, in those, this reflection on the floor. So that's depth of gloss. That's how we measure, the reflection. But I'm just going to give you, a couple of shots here. I'm going to go to the floor camera. And the floor camera will give you about 90.3. Rachel, I'm going to get this closer for you. We're at 9.6. That is calibrated to give you the maximum reflection on a black tile. So 92.1 is excellent. This is in a training facility.
You probably only have like 2 coats on this.
I had 2 coats after I ran the Orbital machine yesterday. I reapplied. Oh my God, this is Grand Prix, and on the other side I've got the runway. So part of our good, better, best.
So you have 2 different finishes on this floor?
All the time, yes.
How would you ever know? To the naked eye, you could never see the difference between those 2.
Well, no, most people won't. They're 20%, 25% self-leveling. They dry to look the same. The finish is really, people want like hard finish, soft finish, all system finish. Finish today are very similar in construction. They're there to protect your investment. They're there to give you that reflection. And then to make you feel good about it's a clean environment for my people.
Absolutely. So you said 20 and 25, that's the solid content?
Solid content, that's really in liquid. We've got, 28, 30% solid before it dries. When it's on the floor, it dries to be like a coat of clear plastic. I always compare those to contact lens.
Yeah.
Because you see through them, the reflection comes through them, and it's really the thickness. At 20% will dry much faster than at 25.
Right.
At 25, if you're using 3 coats of a 20, you may only need to use 2 coats of a 25, and that would be your runway. The runway is more of the latest technology, but your Grand Prix, your Elite, and all of the others are very similar finish. They're there to really guarantee the gloss, the reflection, ease of maintenance. And, we have anti-slip property in them. So again, for a health and safety purpose, very, very important. So, let's do a quick.
So nice product plug for our friends at Rubbermaid when you're using their flat mop.
Yes.
I think they should be paying for this Facebook Live presentation. Actually, we're gonna have to talk to them about that.
That's right. So today, we want to show you the Orbital scrubber. It's a unique machine. It's part of our Labrador series. We've launched 3 models, conventional 21, 24, and 28 3 years ago. Very popular, gaining popularity as we move forward. They're going in schools, they're going in shopping malls, they're going into dealers, they're going in large surface, when you're looking at those types of machines, you're talking.
Industrial, manufacturing,
Oh, yeah.
we're seeing these used and used everywhere. I always love to say when we're doing a site survey, we've got to go to the graveyard. And the graveyard is my favorite spot to go. That's hidden under the stairs. That's where you're gonna find all of your battery chargers that no longer work, your welders that are broken that someone eventually will fix or they're hiding. The other place that you're gonna always find your dead auto scrubbers and sweepers. So great place to go to the graveyard, see what they were using in the past that wasn't working for their business and identify that right product and that right solution for those customers.
Wow, yes, and you're right, and people forget about this. So the Labrador series, we've just relaunched. The pandemic slowed everything down, but to me, the Orbital system is your next step in floor care. We've gone from a very, very complex process, a lot of chemical, a lot of chemistry, a lot of chemists also when stripping floors, because people make their own little solution. They want to make sure that they have, the more power. They use hot water. They have a lot of gummy. Then we went into simplicity. We went through a dry process, reducing the labor. Today, an auto scrubber, and you know what? This is what I call maneuverability, ease of use. When you're
It
looking
really
at
does turn out.
operating, nice board. As I'm coming closer to the camera, very easy to operate. Everything is in that dial, and then all of the information you need is right over here. So I'm going to move it over here. People says, yeah, but Mark, this is an Orbital scrubber. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, we're going to use it to remove those 2 layers that we've had with the Integrity, but we're going to pick up that residue with a bit of light detergent or water, and then we're ready to apply finish. What are you thinking about that?
I think that's incredible. So some major ways in which we could save on labor or reduce the labor completely to allow them to do tasks that they need to be doing to get the jobs done. But what a great application. So we went from 15 to 20 different objects down to potentially 2 to get the job done. And now we're down to 1. So, this seems like a really big investment though, when I'm only going to use this twice a year, because that might be all I'm doing for floors.
Yes, but you're removing those layers, but you still need to clean those floors, deep scrub those floors. So you take your maroon pad off, and then you use a red or a blue pad to do your maintenance, right? So it could be used for deep scrubbing.
Yeah, so this could become your everyday auto scrubber.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this will give you 2.5 to 3 hour runtime, meaning I'm going to cover 60, 70,000 square feet of cleaning before it has to go back on the charge. And the beauty about this guy, onboard charger. The electrical wires are right there, so you can go and really recharge your machine anywhere. There's an 8 to 12 hour charging cycle to maximize your battery life, and the battery will be good on a machine like that for at least 24 months.
Well, and the design is so simple. I mean, all of the yellow wear parts are easily adjustable for service, whereas some of the traditional units, it just wasn't that easy to adjust your squeegee or do the things that you needed to do. Or what we would find is as people would remove their squeegee blade, they'd put it on top, they'd have water run down their board and it would start to leak into the board and cause further damage. So I love the fact that this is completely a sealed product. It's very easy to get into. When you open the hood on this puppy, you can just get in there and do any of the cleaning that you need to do, because who actually ever cleans out their auto scrubber? Good opportunity to introduce BioVac and make sure we get all of that organic material cleaned out of there.
And it's so easy. You go in, rinse, and you're using your dump hose in a great facility, and you can remove all of this.
It looks like you may want to take
Well,
yourself
no,
up on
Shannon,
that.
I've been using this machine. I'm so excited about this machine. Like, what I've been hearing this year is I don't have labor. I need to get those floor. The floor finish was challenging, getting supply. Supply chain is reopened.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So we've certainly seen throughout the pandemic, everybody has experienced those supply chain shortages and those issues and that concern that's come up. Enter the fire and the flooding that happened in Texas. And as those resins became less available, it started to become a problem. That's impacted solvents that go into strippers. So a lot of companies are having a difficult time to be able to supply their customers with the products that they need. So this could be an opportune time for them to maybe change up the process they're doing. And then we certainly saw that with the finish. Luckily in Dustbane, we don't actually have that problem. We have plenty of finish in stock and ready to ship. So don't concern yourself with the shortage. We've got that taken care of. But it certainly has become an industry challenge.
And good, better, best. But now it's being shipped. It's late. There's no labor. Things are reopening. I got to do my floors.
It's not late, it's just on time. We're in floor care season and people are gonna start doing their floors within the next 2 weeks. As soon as those students are completely out of class, there's no risk of them being returning to school, and we're gonna start to see that season really pick up. So it's just on time.
They're in stock. Just place your PO and they'll be shipped within 40 hours of your orders. I'm
Now,
excited.
just for those customers that may be on the line, that may not be one of our distributors, we don't actually sell direct to end users. So if you did reach into us, please feel free to reach in on the chat line or on our website, and we'll be happy to connect you with the right distributor in your area to make sure that you get everything that you need.
Super. So I'm going to take the machine down. I'm going to do what the integrity is designed for. Reduce the speed. So
the actuator is really pushing down the head on this unit.
Yes.
And allowing to get that pad pressure right for the floor surface that we're on.
So I'm going to do one pass.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a dry to the activity.
So how many RPMs do we have of the orbital moving at this point?
The isolation system would be roughly the same thing as you get with the integrity with a 100-pound pressure.
Okay.
But really, there's no vibration. I'm not holding a machine. I'm just letting the machine do the work. So I'm doing it dry now. So I'm going to add a bit of solution.
But you can really see even dry right now. There's a clear reduction on the floor.
Yeah. I'm going to add a bit of solution.
One thing that we haven't talked about is the decibel rating. So obviously you and I can still have a great conversation in here. You're operating the machine, but we don't need any hearing protection. We're far below that 72 decibels that you would require any hearing protection for. So how can we adjust the decibels on this unit? Because there are some different features in eco mode that allow you to either save energy, save the battery, reduce the noise, reduce the water. So this is, from a health and safety perspective, this is a dream come true.
It's lower now in the noise. The eco mode gets you at 20 to 25% more runtime and again reduces your decibel. But we were running this machine at about 56, 58 decibel.
Yeah.
I think the air conditioning in the building is running at 60.
In this building?
Absolutely.
Way higher.
Yeah. So incredible. Look at that floor. I mean, I can see what you're seeing. I'm gonna take gloss reading.
So the glass meter is still back over at the camera, so maybe we can bring that other camera a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But what were we reading before? Was it 92?
92 was recorded.
And if you were conventionally or traditionally stripping a floor, what would the floor generally be reading after you wet strip a floor?
Oh, about between 7 to degrees of reflection. So from going from 92 to about 2 to 7.
So are you going to be my myth buster now and tell me if this is really stripped?
Well, one pass, I'm at 7.4.
All right.
I wasn't looking, but like that's the standard. To any customer, this would mean.
And you have this actually, I can see where you positioned it is right on the line, half into where you had no liquids going on the floor, and then half into where the liquid is. So what would be the difference if we just brought it back to the dry? Oh, so where it was dry stripped, because you were right on that line, there's still finish there, we're actually at 4. So it's exactly the same rating as it would be if you had traditionally stripped the floor.
Feel that floor.
Oh, I know.
Like this is, wow, this is like,
But-
pores are closed.
And what I like is there's very little powder left on the floor where we dry stripped, so there's no finish there.
No.
And then we had it wet here, so we're really removing a lot of those layers.
People would say, Shannon, no, you didn't remove the 12 layers of finish that's been on that floor for the last 50 years. No, we didn't. They've walked away every time there's traffic with dry abrasion. But with that said, the key to floor care today, on today's standard, is let's remove a few film. Let's take the contamination. Let's take the soil that's been, added between coats of finish because the floor wasn't cleaned properly.
Right.
And then get your zero reflection, reapply finish. And right now we're talking, I'm just gonna put a bit of finish on and really I can walk away and be done. That's incredible. So we've gone from 6 hours at least to 2 hours with the integrity.
Yeah.
I could do this room by myself, but nothing's there in less than half an hour. Oh.
Well, you generally have to after every demo I've done in here.
So just for fun, I'm gonna take the runway.
We have a question. Robert says, how does it work over uneven flooring?
That's a good
great question.
Yes.
Yeah. So it has a self-leveling head on it. So it is going to adjust itself to those different floor surfaces. And we often see that in buildings where you've got an older building and you have the floor maybe a little uneven, but you've also got different surfaces like tile areas or terrazzo or different types of surfaces that may have some uneven floors naturally. So as the head moves across the floor, it's almost floating and it's going to keep the pad pressure down to the actuator so that it gets that even coat and not have those mismatches due to unevenness.
So here we go. I'm just gonna saturate my mop.
Your figure eight reminds me of when I used to be a skater. I was about 5.
And look at this shine. It's right away adhering to the floor. The surface is clean. The surface pores are all closed. That's gonna dry and within 30 minutes. When's your next meeting?
Oh yes, in 30 minutes,
So-
I have a demo in here.
So you'll be able to walk on that floor, no problem. And you will get the same protection and the same gloss reading that we were getting before. So on a second coat, and what we'll do is, we've done this process with our marketing team earlier this week. We're gonna run it and we're gonna email it to you from A to Z on the process, reapplying and gloss meter reading. So you'll be able to share this with people.
So Mark, why would you choose one floor finish over the other?
It's just, a lot of people buy finish because they know about it, they've heard about it,
They know the name.
they know the names. Grand Prix to me is an old system. It came in the early 80s. It was very popular back then. It's been reformulated. Polymers have evolved. If you look at our offering, my time at Dustbane, I've seen if there's technology investment, we are putting it in our product. We're taking all of the solvent, the butyl out of our degreasers, and we replace them with our DST, makes safer product, better cleaning performance curve, and when you're diluting, finish is the same. So we've evolved. Your Grand Prix is what I call the good product, a product that's going to protect your floor, that's going to give you that reflection. And then we've got a runway that is in the same, polymer base, slightly softer, easy to repair. And then you've got your Elite, one of the hardest ones. So Grand Prix, Elite, runway, good, better, best. They're all good,
Yeah.
but different application.
Absolutely. So depending on the floor type, depending on the results you're looking for, and the type of maintenance program that you have in place, I think really becomes important when choosing that right finish. So, that's one step that a lot of people forget. They take a look at the price of something and determine, this is my buying decision based on the price, but they don't actually think about the process for maintaining those floors, whether they need to just use an auto scrubber and every day that floor is going to look great, or do I need to burnish that floor every single night? Or do I need to use the new Clean Bright pad so that I can also get a little pop out of that floor? So great options for you. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about when I say the Clean Bright pad, I highly recommend you check out our video online, or I'm sure Rachel's got you on her mailing list and she's going to get that information out to you too. But that 2-in-1 pad that really helps reduce the amount of cleaning that needs to be done, but it's certainly cleaning in one pass and brightening at the same time. So you get that nice pop And I can see Mark's just about to move another auto scrubber into the shot, and he's got the clean brake pad on that shot right now. That's wet, so nothing.
So I'm very excited about, service people that are concerned about, that's another machine, it's more service part. The Labrador XP series, your Orbital machine, your cylinder machine, your standard 21-inch machine. The platform are the same, the parts are universal, easy to repair. Your service center can get in and remove the heads and do some work at their shop without having to move the machine around. So there's a lot of simplicity in the Labrador offer, like we have moving forward. At Dustbane, we're always looking for something to make it easy, simple, for you to be able to go out there and look at other opportunity. And Shannon and the team has done a great job. We do site survey. We do Zoom site survey. You go on our website, you fill that form. We will get back to you within 24 hours. We'll set up a date. We'll go into your buildings. We'll help you resolve some of your cleaning challenges. And then also probably bring you an ROI that you're looking for, and maybe more.
So there's still probably about that. When we do the site survey, what we typically see is anywhere between 50 and 80% hard cost savings. I did one this morning that we just presented. It was 74% hard cost savings. We also reduced about 25 SKUs to 5. So that's pretty good results. They also were buying from multiple different partners and reducing 4 different partners down to 1.
Wow.
But the labor savings that we identify is substantial. And this is where you can really drive that cost out. Like we talk about with the traditional process, if that is going to cost you $800 to get that job done in one classroom, multiply that across a large building, that cost can really escalate quickly. So we've got some really great tools to calculate not only the cost in use, but your return on investment, so that we can show you how the equipment can pay for itself in a matter of months. So some great opportunities to look at that. And then the last piece that we identified in our site survey is really those health and safety and environmental reasons to change. So some of those you've identified today, we've reduced the risk of slip, trips, and falls, because I don't know about you, but I've slid through some slurry before. It's not very fun, but it is very fast.
Yeah.
We've also had polishers go across someone's foot and into a wall.
Yeah.
So certainly some health and safety issues there. But when we start to look at the process using the Orbital, now we're reducing decibels, we're reducing energy, we're reducing the impact on the environment, we're using less chemical than is required, we're reducing single-use plastics by using the right finish that's also going to reduce the amount of coats. So lots of different ways in which you can have an impact, not only financially, but also on health and safety of the environment, all in one go.
6 hours, 3 hours, less than an hour. Now, if that's not saving, and it's so easy. I just press the button. I just need to walk and talk.
Now be careful you don't step in that wet finish, because luckily for you, you've got the Orbital. So if I was to walk through that finish and pull off the remainder of what bacteria is on the bottom of my shoes, and it sticks in there and we've got to redo this floor, it's seconds to get that job done.
Absolutely. And that we do all the time. So you have in areas, you just quarantine it. Finish the lays very easily. You don't have to strip the floor. You can do the traffic area, and then most people will tell the difference. So, again, easy to make little patches to repair a floor that's been damaged by, an event.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Absolutely.
Disinfectants being used on the floor at the wrong dilution rate.
Or people that didn't really have trap mat. And then the sand came in and the floor got scratched in the first 10 by 15 feet of your building. You can go in there with that machine and fix it. Then I'm really excited about the Orbital machine, but it's like everything we put out this year. We're here to help you. Virtual demo is here to stay. We are equipped. We can do training. We can help you sell machine. Shannon and I will go into demonstration with you, the customer, with you, the distributor. Yesterday I was out there doing an industrial machine in the warehouse with one of our rep out west. It is the way to get more people engaged. All this is being filmed. Videos will be sent out. Our marketing team is always reaching into you, looking for engagement. Shannon, this is a great day. Thank you very much for joining, me and being able to really work together without wearing masks.
Right, it's about time. Congratulations
Yes.
on your double vaccination.
Thank you.
I'm next, can't wait.
So,
Looking forward to it. So Mark, we're just about to end our session. I think we should turn it over to the audience and see, are there any questions out there? I see that we've got some questions from Robert. He was asking about the floors, which we answered. He's asking about the cost. We don't give pricing out. Our distribution will be more than happy to provide you with that end user pricing. I can tell you that one of these machines is roughly around 10,000 or under. Talk to our distribution, they're gonna probably give you a much better answer than that. But we wanna make sure that we give you the complete solution and everything that you need to be successful as you move forward with your opportunities and your